Hello everyone, and welcome to another video series on employment-based second preference immigration. I'm going to start today by answering some questions received in the comment section. How does it work? I am confused. Can someone help me understand the initial step of the process? So the initial step, my advice would be that you need to ask yourself if you qualify to apply for EB2 or E2 NIW, National Interest Waiver. Do you qualify? My advice would be that this is the number 5th video. Please go ahead and check the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th video. The links will be in the description link to this present video. That way you'll be able to know if you qualified or not. Another question is, so the first step to EB2 NIW is applying the I-140 and wait for approval. So this question, I guess the author is trying to ask, was the first step? Yes, again, you want to know if you qualify. Then if you qualify, then you want to submit an application, which is your petition. Your petition is like a draft. It's more or less like a project, a write-up, where you're going to respond to certain prompts, where you're going to write about certain things. That is the petition. Alongside the petition are certain forms that are required for you to fill. And these forms are available for free from the government website. Again, I think the second video, I did something about filling form I-140, which is one of the forms that the petitioner will fill. So you want to go through those videos to have a better understanding and wait for approval. So yes, when you fill the needed forms and you submit your application, then you have to wait. The response will either be accepted, that is, you are approved, or rejected, not approved, or RFE, request for more evidence. And the duration varies depending on the kind of service you request for. Ordinarily, if you apply just with the form I-140 normal service, it costs you about $700. That's the present fee. Then there is a service for premium processing, like you want to get your response as quick as possible, which some people have attested that it took them about a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and they get their reply after submission. So that processing fee is an additional $2,500. So it all depends. However, if you don't use a premium processing service, some people have said they waited as long as 3 months, 4 months, 5 months before they get their decision from USCIS. So the next question says, when you apply, do you need to make the payment online as well? So here is a little bit tricky. So it depends. Where are you applying from? If you are applying from the US, then there are guidelines or procedures on how you make the payment alongside your application. The payment could be through money order, check, or even using your credit card. For those that reside in the US, you will understand, they understand better this procedure. However, if you reside outside the US, from the official website, the instruction is that anyone who resides outside the US should contact the country's embassy or consular office. So you want to make sure you have the right information on the procedure and guidelines to making the payments for such immigration petition. However, some people find other means that could be of help to them. Say, for example, you are applying outside the US and you have someone, maybe a relative member in the US or a friend that can be of help to you, then they can perhaps, if they have the capacity, help you to make the payments, and you guys can communicate on how that can be successful. Another question here says, is it after our I-140 gets approved, we need to get an appointment with the US consulate, or how does it work? So responding to that, what I would say is that the procedure depends on how you file your petition and depending on the category. For those that filed the Form I-140 first, then you expect a feedback. If you are approved, then that means you have the opportunity to progress to the next stage. But that progression is dependent on what is called priority dates, depending on your country of residence. If it has gotten to your stage based on your approval priority date, if you can proceed to apply for adjustment of status. There are some countries such that if you apply and you get approved today, you can proceed to apply for your adjustment of status. There are some countries, based on maybe retrogression, the priority date is at maybe January 2023. If your approval comes in, say, today, October 19th, 2023, you cannot proceed to apply for adjustment of status immediately. Why? Because for your country, as a case study, like I said, your priority date is at January 2023. So on a monthly basis, USCIS release visa bulletin, which contains the priority date for some specific countries or in general, or other category. So I'm going to explain that later in another video to go deeply to what is meant by this priority date and every other thing. All right, so in today's video, the aim is to move forward to chapter 2, what I call chapter 2. Initially, I shared my cover letter to you, which is more or less like a table of contents that shows the things you have in your self-petition. And if you recall, for those of you that watched the previous video, the chapter 1 was advanced professional. And in that video was to explain if you qualify, to let the officer knows that you qualify and you hold an advanced degree. Please go to the video if you haven't. Chapter 2 now is on another write-up. And now I'm going deeply for those who are self-petitioning under the category National Interest Waiver. Primarily, when you apply for employment-based second preference category, you need a job offer, and your employer will be the one to file your case and submit your Form I-140. Your employer needs to obtain and include a certified application for permanent employment certification from the Department of Labor, and some other forms needs to be filled. However, there is exception for those who will not depend on any job offer. And that is the category called the National Interest Waiver. So this option is waiver of the so-called requirements of job offer, but it has a clause. Not everyone can apply under the NIW, National Interest Waiver. You must be able to certify that your case is of national interest. So, filing a petition with the USCIS under the National Interest Waiver eliminates the need to show your employer's ability to even pay your wage, as it waives the job offer requirements altogether. I would say NIW is your ticket to a faster, more direct route to permanent residency in the US, all because of one thing: your talents serve the national interest. Your case, your arguments, your research area, your business plan, your area of endeavor serve the national interest. Now, with the NIW in hand, like I said earlier, you don't need an employer to sponsor you, and you can skip the labor certification process, which can be time-consuming and complex. So overall, you must prove that your work serves the greater good of the United States. So that's just a preamble to NIW. Now, you want to start your chapter 2. If you are following the same format as I'm explaining, in chapter 2, you want to write something about substantial merits and national importance. For you to do this, again, let me recall. For you to file under the NIW category, the USCIS requires 3 criteria, which they refer to as 3 prongs required for them to grant you a national interest waiver, split into 3 categories, 3 branches. And the first one of it is substantial merit and national importance. So this is the first prong, which focuses on the significance of what you plan to do in the US. You, as the petitioner, and of course, in this category, you can self-petition, you must demonstrate that your proposed endeavor, the area you are making your arguments on, whether it's in the science, arts, business, STEM, or any field, has real value and importance. It should benefit the country meaningfully by contributing to the growth of the country, the economy, culture, education, and general well-being of the people. So, depending on how you want to split your chapter 2 or write your petition, you could have a section for substantial merits, and you could also have a section for national importance. So again, substantial merit, let me try to just oppose between these two. Substantial merit refers to the inherent value and significance of your proposed endeavor or work. It assesses whether what you plan to do has real and meaningful impact in your field or area of expertise. So you are saying you are working in this particular field or area. You are doing projects in this field or area. You are contributing in one way or the other in this particular area, then what value does it come with? What value does it have? What impact is that field, all those areas you've talked about, what impact does it bring in your field? In the case of national importance, it focuses mainly on the broader implications of your work. It evaluates whether your endeavor, your proposed endeavor, benefits not just your immediate field, but also positively influences the nation as a whole. Even if not the entire nation, but at least you could generalize it to a good number of population of the US. It looks at how your work contributes to the well-being, progress, or interest of the US population. So substantial merit looks at the value and importance of your work within your specific field or industry, while national importance assesses how your work extends beyond your field and positively affects the country. The next thing I'm going to do now is to share someone's petition briefly to look into how the chapter 2 is drafted. So at least that way you can have a sense of how you can proceed in presenting yours. Okay, so again, this is like the person's cover letter, which gives like a summary of all the forms submitted alongside the body of the petition itself. But my interest here, again, you will recall, I've done chapter 1 on advanced degree professional. Please check the video. Today, in continuation, we want to look at chapter 2, substantial merit and national importance. And for this person, you would see that 4 to 24 pages, that's about 20 pages that this person wrote on substantial merit and national importance. There is no limit to page number, and you could argue your case in 3 pages, 4 or 5 pages. Just make sure you put in the required elements. And for this person, if we look at its table of contents of this chapter 2, preamble, then the person spoke about his own area of endeavor, and also put up some projects the person is working on. All right, so let's take a look. Recall again, this is just a sample. Use it to get an idea. Of course, we can't copy it because Mr. A's petition for chapter 2 will be different from Mr. B because you both have different area of endeavor. So the first thing is you've located your area of proposed endeavor. It's not something hard. What you are currently working on, or what you are working on, or what you intend to work on, or trying to connect where you're coming from, things you've done in the past, what you're doing in the present, and what you intend to do in the future, connecting all of them together and using that as a case to justify your area of endeavor having substantial merit and being of national importance. So looking at the first line here, this person wrote, my proposed endeavor focuses on broadening participation in STEM, including K-12 STEM students, undergraduate engineering students, graduate engineering students, faculty in engineering, etc. So in the preamble of this person is making us to know his area of endeavor. So you want to speak directly, oh, this is who I am. So this person's identity, this is what my area is, this is what I'm working on, this is what I'm trying to do. Not just saying it. After declaring that, then you want to show how is it of substantial merit. And when you argue that, you also want to show how is it of national importance. Let me give you an instance. If you are a teacher and you are a very talented teacher in your school, maybe it's K-12 students you are teaching, and you've been contributing meaningfully to all these students. That is great because the students are gaining knowledge from you. They are getting the best. That is great. However, how does that really translate into national importance? I mean, it's more or less like you are just in the classroom, just one classroom, influencing one classroom. But what you also want to justify is that how can you influence, or how does that your area influence more classrooms across the nation, something like that. So you are not just going to argue your substantial merit, but you also want to argue its national importance. And there are some ways of which you can go about these as well. One of it is, in your area of expertise that you are arguing on, you also want to probably check the internet, maybe Google, for example, to ask questions like about that your field. That way you can know what the nation is saying about your field. You can even know, for example, there are some fields where it's of national priority to White House in the US, or even globally, that that field is really, really important. And they've even been supporting that field. They've been funding, you know, that particular field, or even some organizations have been making an effort to make sure that field continue to prosper. So when you see such things like that, they are more or less like an exhibit, which you also want to add to your claim that, see, this is my field. Look at what people are saying about this field. Look at what government entities are saying about this field. Oh, you could get your exhibit from a government's website, newspaper, you know, many sources, companies' documents, and so on and so forth. For this person we are looking at, it says, for the United States, retaining students in the STEM specialization is of national priority. Take a look at this. In bracket, the person puts Exhibit 2.2. Again, you are not just speaking or saying it. You want to show exhibit. That is how the person will. See, the officer reviewing your case will not just look at the sentences you've constructed, but needs a proof as to, is what this person is saying true or not? And one of the ways you can prove that is to put an exhibit. So for this person, what this person has done is to list several national priority areas, for example, economic growth, according to the President Council of Advisors on Science and Technology. A strong STEM workforce drives economic prosperity by fostering innovation, attracting investment, and creating high-value jobs. So what this person is trying to do, remember, the person says, my area of proposed endeavor is broadening participation in STEM, or broadening participation in engineering. And so this person is trying to let us know that, see, there are some things that the government are saying about this field, and one of it is economic growth. They are saying that the nation, the country needs a very strong STEM workforce, And this strong STEM workforce is what will drive the country's economic prosperity. So if the government themselves are saying that we need people in this STEM field, we don't want them to be dropping out. We don't want people to enroll in engineering or in STEM, and before you know it, they drop out, they don't graduate. No, we need them to enroll, to persist, to be retained, and to eventually graduate. So that's it about this aspect. And if we move down, broadening participation in the STEM field is pivotal for the U.S. to maintain its global leadership, address complex challenges, and ensure sustained economic and societal growth. So it's more or less like a summary that this petitioner is drawing from all the points he or she listed above. Then we look at 2.2. This person said, broadening participation in engineering has both substantial merits and national importance. Okay, if I'm the officer looking at this, okay, but let me see, how is that? The person went further, starting with the paragraph. The United States leadership in STEM has continued to shape Americans' way of life for several decades, fueling innovation, contributing to the U.S. national economic prosperity, and ensuring security. There is an exhibit to that effect. So perhaps this person saw it online or from a credible government website that says, oh, this is what it is. And so the person is using it to justify his case, that the U.S. must remain a powerhouse for STEM practice to preserve its lead and maintain a global presence and competitiveness. All right. Importantly, I want you to look at this. This might help some people. In 2023, the US NSF, National Science Foundation, invested $162 million to promote STEM education and research in 9 material research science and engineering centers. What this person is trying to build up is that, having said that our area is broadening participation in STEM or in engineering, haven't let us know what the government or the nation or some agencies are saying about this STEM or engineering field. Then this person went ahead to also tell us that, see, they are not just speaking or saying something, they are also investing. And so if a government entity or the government is already investing in your area of proposed endeavor, then that means it's of national importance. That means it carries weight and value. So that's why you also see that this person, having made this comment, also put exhibit. I assume that this exhibit will be maybe from the website of NSF, National Science Foundation, where it shows that they invested that amount of money, that all you need to do is to go ahead and screenshot that part and put it in your Word document as part of your exhibit. So let's progress. Again, this is for you to have an idea of how you can proceed with yours. All right. Despite all this investment, let's see what happened. However, progress in achieving diversity and inclusion has yet to match demographic trends or science and engineering's growing significance for the economy, national security, and future job opportunities. Leveraging Americans' robust, growing, and evolving diversity through increased participation in science and engineering is essential for individual growth and a prosperous economy. So you see, this person is still passionate and building up his argument. The US, where you want to be a permanent resident, is very diversified. There is diversity, different people from different nations in the US. And so that's what this person is saying. This diversity keeps increasing. As it is increasing in that trend, we also need to increase student participation in science and engineering. It doesn't stop there. According to the US Census Bureau 2020, the US population data shows a more racially and ethnically diverse population. So all these are just backing up the person's claim. So it's your choice, have a claim, back it up, and that is it. There is no one-way rule to it. The major thing this person is doing is that his area or our area of proposed endeavor has substantial merits and is of national importance. So prove yours, and that is what is needed. So again, broadening participation in engineering is essential. Okay, several initiatives and papers have highlighted engineering education's importance in broadening participation and promoting diversity. So it's all about do your research work, do your assignments. This person did his assignment by proving from credible sources, from websites, from government's websites, government establishments, showing that there are many initiatives. They've been doing so many things. I mean, even some institutions, some companies, they've been doing so many things, which are called initiatives, to ensure that they broaden student participation in engineering or STEM. I assume, yeah, the person shows table 2.1, broadening participation in STEM, a national call. So this table comprises of list examples of several initiatives and by who they've been doing to make sure there is more participation of diverse students in engineering. So, well, as a summary here, the petitioner wrote, within the engineering and computing education space, again, because that's the research area of this person, my previous work trajectory, present work, and my proposed endeavor target broadening participation in engineering. You want to make sure you tell a coherent story. If you are the type that your trajectory all this while aligns, then you want to make sure you present it in your petition. So for this person is saying that, see, I did not just come to this stage by magic. Right from my bachelor's degree days, in fact, right from my high school days, this is what I have been doing. Up to my bachelor's degrees day, this is what I did, with exhibits, with evidence. Post-bachelor's education, these are things I've done. Workplace, work experience, these are the things I've done. Post-work experience, PhD, these are the things I'm doing, these are the things I've done. Aligning and keying everything together. So if you are able to, have such a coherent and progressive story, then even the officer within your case will know that this person is indeed a national candidate. Specifically, my work focuses more on creating an engineering pipeline that represents the rich diversity of the US. Remember, previously, the person has said so many things about US diversity and the likes. Hence, my work focuses heavily on underrepresented minorities. This person is just trying to narrow down what he is particularly doing. The following section entails the specific projects, research work, events, or activities and services I am actively engaged with. So I haven't made all the arguments that say, this is my area of endeavor. And the person has shown how it has substantial merits, how it is important. The person has also went ahead to show that it's of national importance with providing several evidence. Then after that, the person provided list of projects or things he has been working on, just to substantiate your point that truly this is my field and this is how important it is. So for every of the project this person listed, for every of the work this person listed, the person tried to tie it to how it is of substantial merit and how it is of national importance. So again, think creatively. This is just a guide for you, and try to craft yours innovatively. Well, this is just one of the projects the person presented about a complaint. So again, I want to tell you something there, that your area of proposed endeavor, going by the English term, the phrase proposed endeavor, it's not really something you have done or something you are doing. It's like something you intend to do. So my own advice is that let your petition comprise of things you have done, things you are doing, and even things you intend to do in the future. All these aligns together. So in this case, this person haven't provided, if you look at this, this is project 4. That means this person had already provided 3 other different projects, which are maybe the past and the ongoing. But for this particular one, is more or less like the future. And this is also a project that this person has started, however, yet to be completed. But importantly, this person put something here. Look at this, table 2.4, phases to complete the project. So this shows that you want to be wise. You don't just write, oh, I am working on this project, this area, this is the full stop, that's it. No, you have to provide a talk or a foundation of that project just to tie it to your proposed endeavor and why it is of substantial merit and national importance. And after that, if it's something you are still working on, you also want to draw out a plan of execution. It's more or less like a business plan, how you intend to complete the project. So that's what this person did here, what this person has done in year 2023, what he intends to do in 2024, and what he intends to do in 2025. When the reviewers see this, they know that, no, let's be real. They know that, oh, this person is loaded. He knows what he's doing. Even if we give this person approval based on his exceptional talents, it's going to still continue because he still has further work to do in order to help the country. So that is that. And again, this is just a preamble to this person's substantial merit and national importance. And I can't show you all the content because you don't want to copy. Don't copy whatever you see here. The big advice is that use it as a guide. Use it to generate ideas on how to do yours and not to copy. You want to make sure you don't leave any doubt in the hand of the person, the officer that will review your case. I wish you all the best, and in the next video, we probably will look at chapter 3, which is another part that talks about your positioning. If you are telling us that you want to do this project, you are working on this or that, how are you well positioned? Are you really well positioned to do all that? So that's what we're going to be talking about which is the second prompt. And again, all these prompts, you must pass them. There are 3. There are 3. You must pass all these prompts for you to qualify for this national interest waiver. All right, I wish you all the best and see you again. Please share the video. Please subscribe and like the video. Bye.